Hello everyone and welcome to Trainz a New Era. Now this is going to be a little bit different, this one. You can see we're sitting here idling loco. This is on a map I've just started out creating. It's very basic, as you'll see, certainly scenery wise and track wise. But I'm going to do a bit different in that I've built an Inglenook sidings on this map, and for those of you who aren't sure what an Inglenook sidings are, I'm going to pop it up on the screen for you now. So, all goes well, you should be seeing you are. Brilliant. Get rid of that. So you should be seeing my desktop. Unfortunately, I tried just grabbing the browser page. That doesn't seem to want to work. So, anyway, rules in operation. As you can see by this diagram here, we have 8 wagons and a loco, 3 sidings. 2 of the sidings will hold 3 wagons, 1 siding will hold 5, and basically you build a train out of it. You can see length of sidings is ruled there, which tells you A should be able to hold 3 wagons and 1 motive power or loco, and so on and so forth. And you can produce using selector, which you can download, or a randomizer, and you can make a list of cars to switch, which I've got descriptions in here. I hit click go, so we've got Salmon Ewans, Cotton Belt, W Farms, C&O Gondola and PFA Reefer, and essentially we've got to make those into a train. So let's get rid of that. So you can see the game. I'll be able to bring up that document again, and what I might do is actually superimpose the switch list on the screen. But for now, we've got to go find that train. It's way down there in the distance. So first of all, get some lights on. Blast to the horn and back on down to our train. Now with this map, it is very loosely based on a real place. See, very loosely, it's actually not that far off. This track works there in real life, as is all this layout here, although pretty much all of this is now derelict and not really used in real life. But I'll see if any of you do know the location. Anyone who knows anything about me probably will know what this place is. But what you'll have to imagine is there are hills to the back here, road going up into the hills with trees. Do you want to try and set the scene? Right, so I'm going to bring the train in so we can see our wagon sat here. Like so. As you can see, we've got a cotton belt, PFE here. We've got our gondola, tank car, flat car, 3 other wagons here. Well, if we look on these, W Farms, Salmon Ewans, and our co-op one. So we jump back to my list. I can see that Sam Ewans has got to be closest to the loco. Cotton Belt, W Farms, C&O and PFE at the back. So that needs to be at the rear, followed by that. Right. So I can pull 3 of these out and place in here straight away. I think is what I'm going to do for a start. Now, what you can do with Inglenooks is you can actually make a little game of it and see who can do it in the fastest time or the least amount of moves. For me personally, it's just a bit of fun puzzle, no time restrictions. So, do is flip the point, move back. But this is something you can do with your friends. I actually have something very similar sat behind me right now that I may well show off on the channel at some point, of an Inglenook pretty much looking exactly as this will if I were to place more scenery. What we do is we just back it up. Couplings, we want to couple that, drag these 3 forward. So, sticking to the rules of the game, we should really limit ourselves to just that past these points. I'll be honest, when I've done this in the past I haven't stuck to that. But we'll see how we get on today anyway. As I say, I just thought this would be something different to bring to the channel, show you what I like to do when I've got a bit of downtime. I do want to build a full route on this, and I think this sort of Inglenook will become the basis of the end of the line. So I'll put another tile out back, put some scenery on it. But otherwise, yeah. That buffers is, I don't want to go too far. So, checking my list. So, Cotton Belt is part of my train, as is W Farms, Sam and Ewan's there. So that's got to be my first wagon. Right. Okay. What I'm going to do then, just going to leave these here for now. Maybe a bad idea. What I'm going to do is just pull this train forward. Look back. I'm going to go grab these out of here. That one. These forward. And now I want these two, though not necessarily in the order they are right now. Do is basically use these as two barrier wagons at the moment to pull those other two out of our 5 wagon siding, one at a time, because then we can dispose of them in the depot line or spur. We'll no longer need to worry about them. Pin up now. Don't want to come in too hot. Of course, what you could do if you wanted to is simulate this with coals. Do realistic pauses for someone to walk and connect up wagons, disconnect. If you wanted to replicate real sort of movements on a railway. Again, we're not going to do that today. This is more just showing off Inglenooks and in general, and sort of how simple it is to do that in the game. Click that. First up. Now, as for the prototypical inspiration for this, I will mention this is an SW 1500. The real line that this is based on actually owns 4 of these in 2 different liveries. So that's another fairly big clue. You want to get your detective hats on. Actually want to see what I can do is, I think I bumped that a bit too hard. I want to see if I can pull that back on the line. Now, the one thing I would have liked to have been able to do, and unfortunately I can't, is I would have liked to have been able to build a scenario out of this. Recovered it from the brink. Now, remembering we can only fit 3 wagons in there, so we've got to bring this one with us. Though, that's not the one we want to connect. That one. Almost made a mistake there. Of course, we want to go grab this tank car and pull that out. Power on. Yeah, as I was saying, building this into a scenario, because of course the beauty of Inglenooks is they change every single time. Now the only way I could feasibly make a scenario out of this, I guess, is if I did a draw beforehand using the randomized selector, and then whatever wagons that gives, write that into a shunting scenario, which I guess is possible. Certainly want to get this route more presentable before I think about doing that, because at the moment all I have to do on this is click free drive, add my loco. The wagons are already set out each time the same way, so from that perspective it's quite easy to do, and I might actually leave that as a free drive, but still add a link into the Inglenook instruction website for other people, presuming I ever get this route released, of course. Okay. Got a tank wagon. Spare SW 1500 beams. And pull out. Slow down, train. Come on. Back it up. Got a bit carried away there. Yeah, the next thing, where it gets tricky. Of course. Now I've got to start thinking of how we're going to arrange these in the correct order. Sam and Ewan's needs to be at the front of our train. The PFE reefer there is be at the back. We've got to bring that out. Now, I'm just wondering. Don't want to get this locked in. So, we need to get that reefer out. So, looking at the list. Sam and Ewan's, which is this big yellow boxcar here, that needs to be by the loco, followed by the cotton belt, W Farms, which is this, so this is the third one, D&O gondola, and the PFE reefer at the rear. So there's our gondola. So those two need to swap places. That needs to be in the middle, followed by those. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab our cotton belt. because we know that that needs to be next to this. Just bring this out. I think I've got it figured out in my head, guys. Stop the train, flip that switch, burst it up. Is just get that clear at the crossing. So, going to drop that off, bring this W Farms wagon up and drop in there, grab these, go and collect this, stick at the back, then go grab the last two remaining ones, pull them forward, drop off the reefer on our back track, then drop the gondola on the back track, sorry, grab our reefer and put back in middle track on its own, grab the gondola and shunt back in so it's the other way round. Then we've got our 3 wagons which we can then hook up and then take away. Hopefully that makes sense, guys, which you'll see me do now. So unhook that, as I said. Move away forwards. Up once more. Pin in. I want to go slamming into them. What I'm gonna do, just do that. So we've got something for our thumbnail. Normally I'd come in afterwards and do thumbnails, but I figured that was a good place to grab the thumbnail right there. Up train. Go back. Grab Now hopper, as said previously, which will give us the first 3 wagons in order. So Salmon Ewans, Cotton Belt, W Farms. Pull these forward, stick in our back longer track, make sure we leave sufficient room for our gondola to fit in as well. Quite far enough. Come on, train. Give me control of that junction. There we go. Brakes. Burst this in. Use a bit of speed to get it up there. I'm aware we've been at this video for about coming up to half an hour now. I don't want it to go on for too long. As I say, if you wanted to make it more realistic, although it is a shunting puzzle, what you could do of course is drive at realistic speeds, calling out either mentally or verbally calling out distances if you're working the line. Take your time to do the coupling, pull forward, flip the switches properly, all that kind of stuff that you do on a real railway. Sounding your horn, so on. Definitely slow down a lot quicker when we're not hauling something behind us. Now, we want to grab both of these. These 3 wagons, of course, are redundant. They weren't selected for this particular game. Nice angle. I can see what I'm doing clearly here. Go. Yep. We're coupled. Train clear. One thing I don't know about is when you manually, or when you select these and put these in, whether by default they're loaded as full or empties. Purposes of the game, because of course one of the party tricks of Trainz the New Era and previous Trainz and indeed Trainz 19 is that you can load up and empty the wagons. I'm pretty sure it does actually have difference on physics, unlike Trainz Sim World, which was kept rather quiet until recently. Yeah, when that little bombshell was dropped, there's some very unhappy people, myself somewhat included. I mean, I'll be honest, ultra realism in the physics and everything isn't essential to me. I mean, it's nice to know that it's somewhat realistically handled, but I'm not... The ultimate enjoyment out of a simulator doesn't come from the most realistic driving physics and so on. As you can tell by me playing around with an Inglenook on Trainz, and the fact I'm speeding our train in and out these sidings like a good one. And using easy control, of course. DCC mode. So yeah, hopefully you can see the end result now. Coming up to it. We'll push this back, put our gondola on this, and then collect our 3 wagons before pulling the whole train clear, which is essentially the objective of an Inglenook. They were clear that. Couple that. Run forward. It's going to look so much nicer once I've got some scenery going. Not completely up to speed with how everything works, I'll be honest though, with this simulator when it comes to route building. I've watched a fair few videos, EC Gadget videos. I'm a big fan of approach medium, but I've yet to find a full tutorial that works for me so far. Regards to, oh, this is how you use this, this is how you place roads, this is how you snap terrain to the roads, so on and so forth. So I guess I just need to have a play around and discover that myself. And then maybe if you guys are interested and want to see it, we can build a whole route together. Building on from here. To have ideas what I want to build into it. Initially it'll be extending this short line to its full 20-mile length. Albeit with using assets we've got in game rather than custom assets, as I've never got into building models myself, and I don't want to start using paid assets or anything, because then of course do that and I were to ever release this route, it means that I'm restricting the people that can use it, and that's really not what I'm about. I don't mind other people can do as they wish with their routes, because it's them that's making it, it's their time and effort. They can go into what detail they like, and if they want to use a certain asset, then more power to them. I can't guarantee that I'm going to ever use the route because of that, but you never know. Here we go. Let's connect this up. But yeah, like I say, let me know down in the comments how you feel about building a route together on here, or whether you'd prefer to just watch me drive trains on sim, complete scenarios, that kind of thing. I'm happy to play it either way. As I say, I will make the route either way, whether it's doing it on video or not. I will do some more scenarios, particularly with Coal County or Coal Country, whatever that route's called. I may venture into the Steam ones at some point, although I'll be honest, right now, Steam has never been a big interest for me. So if I were to record a scenario with Steam locos, it would be using DCC, and it would have to be because a number of you wish to see that. So, here we go. Collect our 3 wagons that are set out. Go. Pull these forward. This will be our last use of this siding for this game at least. Because all we need to do now is go and collect our 2 remaining wagons. Back it up. Go. Final reversing maneuver of the game. There you have it. Just do a final check. So hopefully you're seeing this, yes. So Sam and Ewan's here, Cotton Belt here, W Farms here, TNO Gondola, PFE Reefer. Now all you need to do, depart. And that is, in a nutshell, how you do an Inglenook. You can see such a simple layout plan for the tracks, and all you really need is this. This can go on for miles, or it can just be sort of long enough to come to here and have, or your sort of off stage area. Then if you were to build a model of this, for example, you had a HO scale or O scale or N scale even, Inglenook, all you do is once you've brought your train off the scene, you should reverse it back up. We didn't need to bring it this far down the track. Get around the corner, good. A little bit more power. Then going to a stop. Couple. Run it forward. And bringing the loco to a stop. You're set up now. Begin a new puzzle. So you'd use either that program, click go to do a new shuffle, which I've just clicked on it and it gives me W Farms, Brew Suite, PFE Reefer, Cotton Belt and C&O Gondola. And then we'd do the same thing again until we get our train of 5 pull away. And really, you could do that as many times as you like. And yeah, I think it's a good mental exercise as well as playing with trains, because it's using logic. As I say, if you want to make it into a little competition and see if you can do it in the least number of shunts back and forth, you could do. I'd take it a bit more relaxed than that, but there's nothing to stop you doing that. But that's going to be it for this video. I'll put a link down in the description to the website so you can have a more in-depth read about Inglenooks if you'd like to, if you've never heard of them before. And hopefully, if you haven't, I've given a pretty good instructional on how they work and sort of piqued your interest a bit. If not, then hey ho, this isn't for everyone. But hopefully it's been a little bit entertaining in any way. As I say, that's going to be it for this video though. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.